Shalom to everybody.
Shalom, shalom, Rabbi.
You asked me that this time we will talk about the mission of Jesus in the first coming. Why he have to come if anyhow he knew from the beginning that the Jews will not receive him. What was the mission?
Yeah. True.
Okay, so why Jesus came from the first place, and why God sent a Mashiach that is not going to finish his mission. Right? Okay, this story starts with the king Ahaz. Ahaz was a very evil king, right? But he's a 26th generation from Abraham. He's the Yudke Vavke generation of Abraham. So it's very important because as a paradoxal idea that we talk about this a lot, he represents the father of Mashiach. He represents the concept of the real father, that hiding behind the evil man. Right? It's the idea we talk about this many times. So here is the prophecy about the birth of Jesus. What is a child called Emmanuel? It's interesting that Emmanuel equal kind with Ebed. 197. 197 is the number of the letter in the first day of the creation. The first day of the creation represents all the light of the creation. Okay, so all the light of the creation, after it, our Savior said that he hide this light only for the end of the day. He hide this light. But Emmanuel, what is Cain and Hevel, it means the two characters we have, two kind of soul we have in all universe. There are two kind of people, Cain and Hevel, two kind of soul. What Jesus calls the body and the blood of Mashiach, right? The body is Esav. Esav in order number equal Cain, and the blood is Yeshua. Yeshua in order number equal Hevel. These two names came from the acronym of, they call him Esav, have the acronym of Esav, and he called him Yaakov, have the acronym of Yeshua. Vaikra Shmo Yaakov, he called him Yaakov, have the acronym of Yeshua, in reverse. Yaakov the Yud, Shmo is name Shin, Vaikra Va is a Vav, so is Yeshua. And with Esav, the same thing, we have the acronym of Esav. Vaikra'u, they call him, is the Vav of it, the last letter of Esav. Shmo is name Shin, Esav Ein. So we have the acronym of Esav in the birth of Esav. So I know that Esav is Esav. What does this teach me? So like Esav is Esav, Yaakov is Yeshua. But when we talk about Yaakov, about this Yeshua, we talk about the low Yeshua. Like it is a low David and a high David. Like it is a low Yitzchak and a high Yitzchak. It is a David and it is the root of David. It is a Nefesh and it is a Yechidah. Right? In the middle we have the middle of the symmetry. It's like the father make a son to the two direction from the wisdom. Right? So it is a symmetry. So you have Yeshua, it's a rabbi, is a woman in the desert. She's dressed with the sun. So the woman in the desert is a Yeshua, is a below Yeshua, is a David, and is the root of David, what is a high Yeshua. Okay, so when I talk about the blood of Mashiach, it's like there are there's the blood and they're like the root of the blood of Mashiach. Okay. Usually blood is a concept that has to do with the nefesh. Nefesh is David always. David is a general nefesh of Am Israel, and it is written that the blood is a nefesh. It is written in the Torah. The low part of the soul that have to do with the blood, with the liver. Okay, so there are two characters, and these two characters together, both of them together, the body and the blood of Mashiach, it means Cain plus Evel, is Emmanuel. All right, so Emmanuel represents Mashiach that contains the two opposites. Okay, the two opposites, the paradox to all two opposites have to do with the snake, have to do with Mashiach. That's why Mashiach equals snake. And it's why all the secret of Mashiach is Chen. Chen, it means paradox, it means symmetry, two opposites together. Two go to the Noach, to the Ark of Noach, always two opposites together. Right? So why Ahaz, what he was the evil king, receives the prophecy about the birth of Mashiach, what is Emmanuel. Emmanuel, it means God with us. The only thing in a positive way I can say about God, that is all the opposite. In a positive way, I cannot say anything about God. I cannot say that God is infinite, because God is limitation as well. God is always the only thing in a positive way I can say, not about the light of God, about God himself in a positive way. What, not to say what is not. There are many ways to talk about God, to say that God is not this, is not this, is not this, is not this. But in a positive way, the only thing I can say about God, that he all the opposite, that is two opposites as one. Okay, what is the secret of Chan? What is the secret of the snake as well? Ishtapuchot the Anachash, a man of reverse, that reverse himself, can be a liar, is the snake, like our Seder said. Okay, so the question, why Ahaz received a prophecy, and will be in this prophecy, he will symbolize the Father God. Right? Because one of his women called Alma in Hebrew modern, it's a young lady, but Alma can be in the translate of the 70, is a virgin. There are two times the word Alma in the Torah of Moshe. Two times Alma equal Miriam. There are two that call Alma. Is Rivka, who will be the wife of Yitzchak, and is Miriam, that when she watches the ark of Moses, the little baby Moses, when he was in the little ark, right? She was watching him. So it is written Alma, so we talk there about Miriam, the sister of Moses. So both of them call Alma, and the Tirgum HaShivim says that it's when virgins. So it's no problem to say about Alma virgin. About the Alma in the Bible, it is written two times Alma too. Only two times in the other part of the Bible beside the Torah. 4 times Alma equal 10 times Chen. Right? It's always the concept of the mother, of the Holy Spirit. So the traditional Jewish explanation for the word Alma is that it's a young lady that she's not yet able to have birth, because this was supposed to be a miracle. They talk there about something not natural in this birth, because it was a sign. Yeshayahu give a sign to Ahav to prove that what he said it will happen. So it must be a miracle. It's not just a young lady. It's natural that a young lady will get pregnant and she have a baby. So what is a miracle? So you can say that the miracle is that she was virgin, and you can say that the miracle is that she was not really able naturally to give birth because she was too young, for example. This is the secret of the mule. A mule usually cannot give birth to a donkey. But the mule is the mother of the donkey, right? When we talk about the food generation, horse, mule, and donkey, the Isha, the concept of the low mother, is a mule. The high mother is the horse. So it is two concepts of the mother, two concepts of Miriam. It is one concept of Miriam that she naturally cannot have birth, and it is concept, but she's not. It's not the idea that it was a virgin birth, and it is a concept of Miriam that she's a virgin. Why she's virgin? Because she's connected to the real father. The father is the concept of renew yourself, it's the wisdom. The concept of wisdom is everything get new all the time, all the time, all the time. All the new thing in the world came from the evil person. Did you think about this? All the art, all the science, everything that is new is came from the side of Cain. All the technology, Tuval Cain, right? The iron stuff, all the music, right? It's all belong to the family of Cain. So the question of wisdom is renew the creation all the time is a concept that somehow has to do with the evil person, not the evil persons that we experience in this world. Right? This evil person, he will go to hell. But behind this evil person hiding the real father. He conducts the world through the acting of these evil people. The evil people really don't have a choice. You don't have a free choice. You do whatever is natural to do, right? You do whatever is hard tell him to do. You want to eat ice cream, you will eat ice cream. You want to do this, you will do this. You do what you want. It's natural. It means you don't have really a free choice. You have a free choice when you fight against the evil, the bad inclination. Then you have a free choice. It means it's like you are less in the hand of God. If you are an evil man and you really don't have a free choice, it means really everything you do is God. Is God the way He created the world, right? So, in a fantastic way, God. It's why it is written that God make the heart of Paro heavy. It's like he took his free choice. Why he took his free choice? Because he's evil. In the moment you are evil, you don't have really a free choice. All right? So God have his reason why he want Paro have a heavy arm, because he want to prove something. He want to. Okay, so even there are many evil people, still God is there. He lead the creation. So we come back to the question: why Ahaz received this prophecy, and this prophet in this prophecy, you know, when we want something happen, when we do a prophecy, we do an act that symbolize what will happen later. Right? We do an action, something physical to give existence to the prophecy. Right? We do something that symbolize what will happen. So in few hundred years from now, it will be a what we call a virgin birth, etc. But now we do an act that repeating what will be. All right, it's not mean that Emmanuel is Mashiach by himself, but it symbolizes Mashiach. Okay, because Emmanuel born many years before. There are people that say that Chizkiyahu is Emmanuel, the son of Ahaz. And if Chizkiyahu is Emmanuel, this may be the reason why our sages said that God want to make Chizkiyahu, why he want to make him Mashiach. Okay? Why God want to make Chizkiyahu Mashiach? In Kabbalah it is written that Chizkiyahu is Mashiach ben Yosef. Ariel writes that God want to make Chizkiyahu Mashiach ben Yosef, not Mashiach ben David, because Chizkiyahu is not a fighter. When the army came to conquer the Judah, he went to sleep. He just went to sleep. Right? He said, God, you do whatever you want. I go to sleep. Right? So there are all kinds of things that have to do with the life of Chizkiyahu, that he was too good. He don't want to fight. He didn't want to have children. There are all kinds of, because he knew that Menashe's son would be an evil person. So God almost killed him. He was sick, and then he healed him. He prayed to God, and God healed him, but he gave him a condition that you have to give back. Even you know as a prophecy that he will be an evil person. Okay, so Emmanuel, the birth of Emmanuel, it's like a prophecy about the birth of Jesus, what is Mashiach ben Yosef, what is a special character that has to do with Mashiach ben Yosef, that is above the reality, the kingdom of this world. His kingdom is heaven, his concept of Mashiach ben Yosef, not Mashiach ben David. Mashiach ben David is a fighter, right? He's red, he's like Esau, he belongs to this world. He's a sinner. Okay, Yosef, we call him Yosef HaTzadik, the righteous man. Yes, he's a spiritual person, he's the opposite of David. Okay, so what's happened that make God to bring this special Mashiach, and what is special about this Mashiach? It is written about Emmanuel, what is special about this kid that we born. Ahaz have two enemies, Takar ben Remaliah and Retzin, the king of Aram. And he want to ask help from Ashur. Ashur was like a new nation that became very, very strong in this time. And Yeshayahu said to Ahaz, don't worry about Bakar ben Remaliahu and Retzin, they are finished. They cannot do you anything, don't worry about them. He didn't listen. He asked the help of Ashur, he gave him a lot of money to fight against Bakar ben Remaliahu and Retzin, king of Aram. So Ashur attacked the kingdom of the north, and in the time of Ahaz, and he finished in the time of Chizkiyahu, we attacked them again, and it's not anymore the kingdom of the north. Took them to exile, don't exist anymore. So now Ahaz, you have to do something to fix it. How you bring the 10 lost tribes that was lost, how you bring them back to Am Israel? To bring them back to Am Israel, you have to bring a special Mashiach that he will be not accepted in Am Israel. Am Israel will not receive him, so he will become the Mashiach of the nation. Where are the 10 lost tribes? Okay, and through this Mashiach, we will have the Christianity, and through Christianity, the lost tribe, they will find their way back to the tree of Judah. It's like the tree of Joseph will find their way back to the tree of Judah that was not lost. Tree of Joseph equal Yeshua, Jesus, 260. It means one of the quality of this Mashiach, that his mentality will be a mentality that has to do with the kingdom of the north, not with the kingdom of Judah. Even Jesus, born to the tribe of Judah, his morality, his mentality was more belong to the kingdom of the north. What was the difference, especially the difference between the kingdom of the north and the kingdom of Judah? The kingdom of Judah is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is surrounded with walls. It means when we do a sacrifice, for example, in Jerusalem, this must to be inside the wall of the city. It must to be inside. In Jerusalem, it's a city, so you have all kind of bureaucracy, all kind of rules. There are many rules how to behave in Jerusalem. Shiloh, it's the name of Mashiach that refers to Mashiach ben Yosef. Shiloh, in a different of Jerusalem, when was the temple in Shiloh, you could do the sacrifice anywhere, where you want, but you have to be able to see Shiloh. Right? So you can be, if you are able to see Shiloh from 100 kilometers, right? If you are able to see it from there, so you can do your sacrifice over there. Right? So you can be in the natural to do your sacrifice. It means it's more a religion that is attached to the natural. To be attached to the natural, it means to be attached to idolatry. We can fail to idolatry when we are aware of all the spiritual force that are behind all the things in the natural, right? There are different angels, different spiritual force that are responsible for the water, for the fire, for all different things that happen in the natural. Right, so when you live in the natural, more easily you develop your spiritual capability, and then you are aware of different spiritual force, And then you can be fell to start to worship this angel, this different force. So they help you to manipulate the nature. You understand this? So it means the morality of Jesus is more natural, simple morality, more heart, less rule, all different, have to do more with brain. And Jesus is more simplicity, you know, for example, the prayer that the Christians do, right? It's a very short and simple. Jesus said, don't pray, make too big prayer, but in the Judaism, it's opposite, you know. After I eat, I have to read or whatever for any reason. We have a lot of prayer, and the prayer there are many secret behind the prayer, many detail, it's a construction, it's a city. Right? It's a city made by hand of man. Like Cain is the first one that built a city for Hanoch, right? His son. So it's like the difference between, you can see this very easily today between the difference between Judaism and Christianity. Christianity is light. Light has to do with heart. Judaism is rule. A lot of technique, a lot of bureaucracy. You cannot do this if you didn't do this, and you cannot do this if you didn't do this, and there has to be so and so, etc. There are many details and rules. Also, Jesus came from this point of view of morality. But for the nation, very good. They don't need all the complication, you know. They have to leave idolatry and to learn a good simple morality. They are not deep learning of Torah, because Torah can be really be learned only in Hebrew. So they cannot go deep to all the concept, to all the detail. It's just simply to be a good person. You know, because I think the derech eretz is like the way to act, the way of derech eretz. If you translate word by word, it means the way of the earth. It means the way people act naturally. It means morality. It's before the Torah. Derech eretz kadma leTorah, it is the say of our sages. Because, you know, first of all, you have to be a good person. After, you have to be a smart person. What is more important, right? So it is a place where to be a good person, it's above to be a big learner. So Jesus is in this place. Now, besides what he teaches, how I know about Emmanuel that really is above the Torah. It is written about the child Emmanuel that he will eat butter and honey for his knowledge, the difference between to leave the evil and to choose the good. It means in the end he will eat the tree of knowledge, good and evil, the fig tree. לדעתו מעוז ברע ובחור בטוב, to reject the evil and to choose the good. Butter and honey, butter it's like rectification of milk. It's mean of the good, of the baby. But what you give to a baby as food? Be a good person. But you know, if you teach all the time the same, when you grow up, it's become kitsch. So you take the best of it, it's butter. It will be so much milk, then people will choose to eat Batter instead, like it is written. We talk about Yeshayahu, basically the birth of Emmanuel is Yeshayahu, chapter 7. Okay, so batter, it's like rectification of the good, of the tree of evil, the tree of knowledge, good and evil. And Ani is a rectification of the evil, because Ani came from the bee. You said Vorah, the bee, right? And the bee is not a kosher animal, it's an insect. So how can from evil can come something that is very sweet, like honey, that is very good. All right, so it's a paradox. So really, it is a rectification of the evil. The rectification of evil is the secret of the honey. And the rectification of the good, don't be too much for baby, don't be too much simple, too much kitsch. It's all the time, the good guys all the time the same thing. They will tell you 10 times a day that the ego is bad, etc. No, came kind and say, no, the ego is very good. If I don't have the ego, I would not do effort to grow up, to learn, to do career, to make money, etc. Right? So the two characters we talk about. So we need good, but this has to be a little bit more concentrated, more for adult people. And really, the batter is what gives me the possibility to get to the honey. It is a story about Jonathan, the son of Shaul, that he find honey. To catch the honey, he sent his mate, his stick. Stick equals chema, batter. So to get to the honey, to be able to understand how the evil is good, I need first of all butter. It's intermediate, no milk, butter. The expression of butter and honey appear 4 times in the Bible. It is written 2 times butter and honey, and 2 times honey and butter. Butter and honey equal the book of God. Sefer Hashem, the Shem Gematria. 466. Equal calculation 2. And equal Yitzchak Mashiach Chen in prime number Gematria. You know what is prime number Gematria? I didn't teach you prime number Gematria. Let's say Sefer, right? The summer is a 15 letter in the alphabet. What is the 15 prime number? The 15 prime number is 43. So the Gematria of summer will be 43 instead of 60, the regular Gematria, or instead of 15 in order number. The 15 prime number in the series of prime number is 43. Start by 1. 1 is the first prime number, after 2, after 3, after 5, after 7, after 11, after 13, after 17, and 19, 23, etc. Okay, so the 15 prime number is 43. So this way I count after the letter Pei. Pei is a 17 letter, so the 17 prime number is 53. Stone. 17 is good, the good stone, the letter Pei, etc. All right, so when you do the Gematria of Yitzhak Mashiach Chen, not the book of God, not Bater and Ani. In regular Gematria, the book of God and Bater and Ani equal 466. What is Cheshbon? Calculation, mathematics. So we have to know Cheshbon to know how to do this kind of Gematria. But if I take the three words that my book is based on it, Yitzhak Mashiach Chen in a prime number Gematria, I will receive altogether 366, what is 3 times cross 2, slav, 3 times 122. It means the average value of each one of these words, that is the secret of the cross. Yitzhak Mashiach Chen, this cross is slav, right? So, by the way, so the book of God have to do with these three words. Literally, is the book of Torah. So this gives me a hint that when we talk about Bater and Ali, we talk about the book of Torah. What is the tree of knowledge, good and evil? Okay, and it is written there. Leda'ato, for his knowledge, Ma'os Berat, to reject evil and to choose good. It's mean. So he say in the end, Emmanuel will eat the fig tree, but because before the kids will know the difference between good and evil, before he will eat, when he came the first time, בטרם ידע הנער מעוז ברע ובחור בטוב, to reject the evil and to show the good, all הארץ תעזב, all the land will be left. It means the exile of Am Israel, because the fact that Jesus, he didn't eat yet the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It means he was above the Torah. He teach me to be a good person. He didn't, instead of to teach me Torah, all the secret of Torah, that like people think that Mashiach is supposed to reveal all deep secret of Torah, and he's supposed to fight against Rome. Right? We have to pay the tax to Rome. Jesus is clearly, you give to the Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and you give to God to belong to God. My kingdom is not from here. I cannot help you with Caesar. Okay, I can just teach you to be a good person. Okay, so the Jewish thing. For this, I need Mashiach to teach me a good person. It's not enough. What is the Torah? Where is the problem? Actual problem we have with Caesar. I saw the rejected. So Jesus will tell to his disciple, he said, I have other sheep beside your guys. In another michla, in another place where he put the sheep. They are not here. They are not in Am Israel. And I will give my life to serve this other sheep. It means my mission really, my mission here really, they will not receive me here. You know, from the beginning that the Jewish will not, most of them will not receive it. They will receive him in the end of the time. And then they will realize as well how much important they think he teach from the beginning to the Jewish. But the Jewish didn't receive him. It's made he know from the beginning that his mission is not for the sheep that are here, for you guys. I have another sheep in another place, and I will give my life to this other sheep. It means I'm going to die. I'm going to give away to the nation, to the other sheep that are in the nation, to the lost, the tribe of Israel. I'm going to be given away to them. And from this, we will have Christianity. And from this Christianity, really, because the mentality is similar to the spirit of the king of the north, this will catch the real soul from the tribe of the north. They will find their identity there, because it's the same spirit. H Yosef, tree of Yosef equal Jesus, equal Yeshua. Okay, so what it teaches then have to do with the spirit of Yosef. So this will catch the 10 tribes that are lost in Christianity, are lost in Rome, in the Goyim. And for this, in the end of the time, they will come back to Israel. And they will, in the end of the time, when will be sanctification between the two trees, they will be united. They will come back to be part of Am Israel, that is two trees together. We make from the two tree one tree, like it is written in the prophecy of Yechezkel. Okay. So this is about the question that you want me to talk about, right? What was it? Now it is another point we have to say. No, you know, when Daniel asked God, already 70 years passed in the exile of Babylon. So what next? What next? So God told him that really we don't talking about a punishment of 70 years only. It's a punishment of 490 years. It means they will come back to Eretz Israel after 70 years, the Jewish. So 70 years, it was enough to fix the fact that they didn't celebrate the Shemitah, you know, the 7 years. But to fix other things they did, now I bring them to Am Israel as in condition. It means they will have a test in the end of this 490 years. He split this 490 years to different number. Is 49, is 434, and is a 7 that split to 2. Also, I don't understand exactly the secret of this, the way he split this year, but close to the end, he talk about Mashiach, that he will be, you know, he will be killed, right? And so this probably have to do with the coming of Jesus. It means the redemption is not full after 70 years. You still have to pass a test. So if you pass a test, this will become a internal redemption. If not, you will go to exile, like it said. If you reject Jesus, you do the sin of selling yourself. So God really wants us to go to exile. You know, when God tests us, He gives us a test. There are two things that He wants to achieve. that will be strong in our faith, in our, in our way of faith in God. But when he knows that you are going to fail, so what really is mission? What's the purpose of God? He really wants us to be in exile, because in exile we have a mission to do that, to collect all the holy sparks that fell down, to find all the holy sparks are represented by the Yosef HaTzadik. It's like the point of truth in all the light. So when Adam and Eve did the sin with the tree of knowledge, good and evil, it is written that is geresh otam, is threw them away from the paradise, right? But it is written after too that he sends them to this world. It means it's a mission. To be shaliach, it means to be a messenger, right? So with the God providence, when we fell down to a place low because we did the sin, it means we have something to learn and to collect from this low place. All right, so the natural reason that we have to save, to find the 10 tribes that Achaz caused, because Achaz will lose the 10 tribes, but there are many other holy sparks that are in the exile besides the 10 tribes, that they fell with the what you call the breaking of the vessel before the creation. Right? So there, God have is deep reason why he want us to go to this reality, why he want Adam and Eve to go to this reality, why he want Am Israel to go more down to the evil reality. Because really it is a mission to be done. And before we finish this mission, cannot be a redemption. Okay, so the main thing in this exile is really the holy spark that symbolize all the other holy spark is Jesus. So we must to find Jesus, to bring him back, and this is the main reason for the exile. We just celebrated yesterday the day of the Shoah, of the Holocaust. People ask, why was a Shoah? Why there are so many Shoahs? And the main reason, let's check in the Bible where it is written the word Shoah. So in Spania it is written Yom Shoah u'Meshoah, a day of Holocaust. Meshoah, it's like a game of word with the word Shoah. But has the acronym of Yeshua, Yom Shoah u'Meshoah, Yud Shin Vav, and the other letter equal Yimach Shimo. Altogether equals 720. It's a very important number. 2 times Shem, 6 times Eliyahu Hanavi, equal to Yehuda, Samaria, and Gaza, Yehuda, Shomron, Ve'aza. The same acronym, Yeshua, it was the Holocaust for the people of Gush Katif, that 17 years ago they was full from their house. They've been, right? Ariel Sharon full them from the house. It was a very good land with good agriculture, with hotels, fantastic, beautiful land. And they have problem with the enemy of Gaza. So instead of punish the enemy, that they give as a present to the Arab of Gaza, they give this land to them, and they throw them out of their house. There are people from this time still they don't have house because what's happened? They received nothing. Okay, so this was a kind of Holocaust for them. And it's the same gematria. My book, for the first time, the first edition of my book was in the day when was supposed to start the disengagement. What is Tisha B'Av? The 9 of the book, the 9 of the month of Av. When was the day start of the temple? Sharon, he didn't take the calendar, he didn't look the Hebrew calendar. So he decided when we start the disengagement. So they came to Sharon, they tell him this came Tisha B'Av, the day to church. You cannot do it in Tisha B'Av. The day when they destroy the temple, you are going to destroy Gush Katif. So he said, all right, move it to Yud B'Av, to the 10 of Av. All right, so my book was really print in Tisha B'Av, and they put the cover in Yud B'Av. I received the book in my hand in Yud B'Av, and really the temple was destroyed in these 2 days. It was burned in Yud B'Av, the Echad. So there was opinion in Halacha that we should fast 2 days, not 1 day. They cannot give we cannot fast 2 days, right? But so we celebrate the main day. We celebrate Tisha B'Av, but it's very interesting this connection between the birth of my book. It is written that Mashiach born in Tisha B'Av, when the temple was destroyed. Mashiach born. So this book, the birth of this book, have to do with the disengagement from Gush Katif. And what's the connection between the disengagement of Gush Katif and my book? Yeshu Yimach Shimo equal Yom Shoah Umeshoah, a day of Holocaust, and equal Yehuda, Shomron, Gaza. It means the acronym is Yeshu, all the other letter is Yimach Shimo, the name of my book. In this land of Judah, Samaria, and others, there are many hints of Jesus. We talked about this in past. Also, I say generally that all the Holocaust, because it was yesterday the day of Holocaust, we have to know that the reason for all the exile, all the destroying of the temple, all of the second temple, all the Holocaust we pass through all the time, Am Yisrael, all have to do really with the concept of Yeshu, Yimach Shimo. So I think it is, if you have any question.
Yeah. So it means that the first coming of Jesus is for the Gentiles.
Yes.
Not for the Jewish people.
For the Jewish people too, but this will be revealed, this teaching in the second coming. The second coming will be with the first coming. They will be both together. It means will be revelation two of the deepness of the first coming for the Jewish. But right now, his blessing is for the nation, like it is written about Yinon. Before the sun, above the sun, his name is Yinon, V'yitbachu bo, and they will be blessed from him. All the nation, it will be relevant for all the nation. All the blessing, and they will accept him. They will make him. They will give him his importance. Kol goyim yashru. All right. So before the sun, it means the first coming. As the acronym of Yeshua, Yinon Shmo V'yitbachu, and will be blessed from it. Okay, so this is the first coming. And this is especially for the nation. The nation, they will receive it, they will accept it. Okay.
And also you said that the 10 tribes is in the nations, and then when they found out about Jesus, and then they were coming back to.
Yeah, for Jesus, because for Jesus, they know that we have Bible, we know that the name of God is Yud Keh Vav Keh. We know about Israel from Jesus because Jesus was a Jewish.
So what is the meaning of coming back? Like we are waiting until the day.
Second coming is a different revelation that will be dominant. There are two revelations. One revelation is the first coming. It's like this place.
Mm-hmm.
It's above the two eyes. The two eyes is like the body and the blood of Mashiach. The sun and the moon. It's this reality that we have different opinion, good and evil. When we open the two eyes after eating the tree of knowledge, good and evil, what is the Torah? So the first coming is above the Torah. In this place, we don't have different opinion, different eyes, different way to see reality, different faces. In this place, we have all the same face. We are all the same. This is the first coming. This is above the Torah. The second coming is when the fig tree will be ready. The fig tree is the reality of good and evil in holiness, both of them. It's like Yeshua with two eyes equal Tena, equal the fig. When you write Yeshua with two eyes, because it took the eye from the first Yeshua, the other Yeshua. And these two forces will become free because when you have two opposites, must be somebody that is intermediate between both of them. What is the secret of the woman that she's between the moon and the sun? Mm-hmm. The moon and the sun are the two eyes.
So yeah. So it means that
you know that I use a name for the first coming, what is Yeshua in symmetry, with the Ein in the middle. Ein is mean eye. Mm-hmm. It is one eye. It's when we talk about this eye. You write Yud, Shin, Vav, Ein, Vav, Shin, Yud. All right? This is the first coming of Mashiach, and there are many gematria with this name. You have 7 letters. This represents the 7 good cow in the dream of Paro. Mm-hmm. This is another name. You write Yeshua with the Yud in the middle, not the letter Ein. The Yud of Yeshua will be the middle of the symmetry. It means you will write Ein, Vav, Shin, Yud, Shin, Vav, Ein. So in the two sides, you have two eyes, two Ein. This is the second coming, and this is the secret of the 7 bad cow. In the dream of Paro, the 7 bad cow will eat the 7 good cow. It's like this like the body, this like the soul. The body eats the soul, and you don't see that it's a soul there. It's like velonoda kibao kibana. It seems that the still skin. You cannot really recognize that the good cow are inside the bad cow. It's like the body and the soul. In the moment we become body, the soul disparate. It means what will be dominant in the second coming is Mashiach ben David. Ad David Igdil, until David will be bigger of Yosef. Usually Yosef is big of David. But in the end of the time, what will become dominant is the evil. It's the bad guy in holiness. It means it's what you call the beast, the holy beast. This is a chaya. This is the yechida. This is the sun and the moon. The two forces in peace. The Egyptian is the two forces in peace. Okay? Right now, what we call the God of Yaakov is the word of Atzilut. It's only the God of Yaakov. It don't contain the God of Esau. The God of Esau, what if we talk about the good root of the God of Esau, it's like the devil. And in the future, it will be united with the God of Yaakov. It means the God of Yaakov, what we call the vessel of rectification, they will receive the light of chaos, where was the breaking of the vessel from the side of Esau. This after we bring the holy spark back to the place, what is above the world of Atzilut. It's like the crown of Atzilut, what we call the light of chaos. This is Christianity. And in the future, it's like there are two men, one man from the side of Yaakov and one man from the side of Esau, it's like two faces of God. And they will be united in the future when we talk about the world of Atzilut. We don't talk about God himself, we talk about God's revelation, the way God revealed himself to the world. Okay, so to do peace in this world, it's meant to do peace in godliness as well. That godliness, the word of Atzilut, will be not only vessel of rectification, a little bit light, it will be the big light of chaos with the many vessel of rectification. So we will have the good of two concepts. So the light of chaos have to do with Jesus, have to do with Christianity, have to do with Esau, and the vessel of rectification have to do with Yaakov, with Judaism, with the Torah. And when we talk about these two concepts, here it's like light of chaos, and this is like a vessel of rectification. What will be dominant, more important, is the vessel, the body. It's not mean that we will not have soul, but this will start the rectification of physical existence in the second coming. In the moment the physical existence is fixed, the physical can be forever, and then the physical really give life to the spirit, not opposite. Like the candle give life to the fire that came from it, to the light. The light is like the soul, but the candle is just energy, morphic energy. And a lot of fire can come from the body if you refine the body. It's like an olive, right? The olive is bad. It is written that to eat olive is bad for the memory. But if you make oil from the olive is good for the memory. It means it become light. Okay, so the body has to be refined, like you refine the olive to make from this olive oil. Have to be refined. In the moment the body is refined, the body don't die anymore. You can go with the body to heaven. You can come back if you want to come back. You can do whatever you want. Like Eliyahu Hanavi, like Jesus. He go, he come back.
So what to do to rectify the body, like you said?
All the learning of Torah, we use our brain. To use the brain is part of rectification of the body, right? To use the brain. Because the brain is instrument, is a vessel too. It's part of the body. But not only the brain. We have to keep the body healthy. according to the law of nature. Do not take vaccine, do not take any medicine. All the medicine are problem, basically. Right? We have to do a little bit sport, you know, a minimum to keep the body in good shape. And of course, in the moment we're learning Torah, not only as, you know, to remember all kind of things. When we learn Torah as something we really love, it's like to learn music, it's like to learn something that gives you life, gives you pleasure. When you do a research, you find something new, you reveal something new, you have a lot of pleasure. All right, so this pleasure reflects himself in the light. People that learn a lot, they have in their face. When you look the face of the righteousness, you see that the face is light, right? From where came this place? From the pleasure here from is understanding stuff. Okay, so when you have a lot of pleasure of learning Torah, because you do your own research, it's something that belongs to you. Everyone have his special part in the Torah, special letter, special style, how to learn, how to understand the thing, how to interpret everything. So when you do something you like, this gives you a long life. This fixes your body. Besides doing sport and keep the body in good shape. So it's very important, the spiritual learning, you know, when somebody is, when we are sick when we are bored, when we, you know, we are bored, how you say, we don't have what to do, you know. I don't know what to do with myself. This is a sickness. I have no motivation for nothing. So then, this is what it's meant to become old. You know, they're sitting in front of the TV, you know, eating, searching for small pleasure, don't have any mission. When you have a mission to do, this gives you life, this gives you chayut, life. Because, you know, it gives you really pleasure, life. You are active, you're doing something that is important. So this gives you a lot of energy, a lot of life. The motivation, it's very important to fix the body. I have a mission to do. I'm not just living, you know, enjoy of life. All right, this pass.
Yeah. So, so when back to the first question, like we as Gentiles we found Jesus, and then after we found Jesus, and then should we stay in the idolatry like before, or we should like come back, like you said, come back to the roots, come back to the tree of.
We have to try to come back to you have to try to attach yourselves to the root of Judah, because this will become important in the second coming, the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
All the fun is when you have two opinions opposite, and the fighting, but it's a good fighting. It's a fighting with a lot of laughing. There's a face. Why Yitzchak is laughing? Yitzchak is laughing. He's laughing because it's two parts of the face is Yaakov and Esau. He contains both of them. He lives with both of them in peace. The body and the blood of Mashiach. We need both of them. And to keep the body healthy, we need equilibration between these two guys. If we will be too good, we will die very quick. because we care only about the world to come. We don't care about this world. So and if we will be too bad, we say that the Reshaim, the bad people are, even when they are alive, they are dead. So in anyhow, you are a dead person. If you are only body with no soul, you are a dead person. If you are only soul with no body, you are a dead person.
Yeah.
So we need the calibration between these two guys, both in holiness. This is the secret of Hanan. This is the secret of healing. All the medicine have to do with Hanan. You know that in the blessing of in the Tfilat Shmones, the prayer we say 3 times a day with the 18 blessing. It is a blessing. Baruch Ata Hashem Chole Amo Yisrael. Baruch, bless you God that heal the sickness of Israel. So there are different intentions about the way we write the name of God of Yud Kei Vav Kei in each blessing. Right? There are different miluyim, the way of write the name of God with filling letter. There are 27 possibilities how to write Yud Kei Vav Kei with filling letter, because the letter of Hey, Vav have three possibilities how to write it. So you have 2 Hey and 1 Vav, it means you have altogether 27 possibilities. The gematria of all the 27 possibilities equals the square of 39, by the way. Hashem, God is one. But there are in Kabbalah four main way to write the filling letter of Yud Kei Vav Kei. They call it in Kabbalah Absag Maban. Maybe I share my page and I show it to you. I put a page. You can write Yud Kei Vav Kei. You call it Ab, it means 72. It means you write it this way. Can you see it? This is the name of God that refers to the wisdom, to the Yud of the name of God. I show you now 4 principles of all the Kabbalah of Ariel, way of writing the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei. The second one is Sag, it means 63. That refers to the mother, to Bina. You write it this way. The third one, you call it Ma, what? It's the Vav refer to the Vav of the name of God, what is equal 45. You write it this way. And the last one, for the 4 most important feeling way of writing Yud Kei Vav Kei is 52, refer to the kingdom, to the Malchut, to the Shekhinah, it's like this. Absag Maban. This is the way you call them in Kabbalah. It's the best of all the Kabbalah of Arizal, this four way of writing Yud Ke Vav Ke. Okay? Together equal 4 times Chen. And the average value of each one of the name is Chen. Now, if I take the first letter of the first name, Yud, and the second letter of the second name, and the third letter of the third name, and the fourth letter of the forename, how much equal? $58. And this is a name we have to think about when we say the blessing of Cholei Amo Israel. Okay? So this is something very, very basic. The first word of Hashem in the creation will be light, E or equal 233. What is 4 times Chen? What is Absag Maban? Equal to Vayehav Yitzchak, Yitzchak Lav. Esav. Vayehav Yitzchak et Esav. Why? Ki Said Befiv. So Vayehav Yitzchak Lav equal 232. Why he love? Why he love Esav? Because he has the hunting in his mouth. Ki Tzai Befiv equal 232. Absag Maban. Okay, so now we see how much deep the hunting of Esav and the reason of Yitzchak, why he loved Esav, how much his reason are profound and deep. This is the first word in the creation, and this is equal to Dvar Hashem, the word of God. Dvar Hashem. The first word that God said in the creation of the world is will be light. So will be light equal this number 4 times Chen. Absag Maban, what is the best of all the Kabbalah. And when you take the best of each one of these 4 names, it means what the first name Ab have to do with the Yud, so you take the Yud. The second name have to do with the Hey, so you take the Hey. The third name have to do with the Vav, so you take the Vav, etc. So then you receive Chen. What is the average value of the 4 names like we saw? It's 2 different things. If you take the biggest name of Yud Ke Vav Ke is 72. And the smallest name of Yud Ke Vav Ke possible is 44. Together is Chan. Okay. 44, it's when you write the name. When you write the name of Yud Ke Vav Ke this way, Yud Hey Vav Hey. Okay. So this is the biggest one and the smallest possibility. The average between both of them is Chan. The average of the four of them is Chan. You take this 4 letter, going this way. Can you see it? So you receive Chan 2. Okay, so this is the secret of the healing. Of all sickness, like the capability in our mind to have balance between the two opposites, the biggest and the smallest, the good and the evil, the light and darkness. It's all question of balance between these two guys, kind and evil, that together have to do with Emmanuel. This was the Torah that did Moshe to all the eyes of Israel, to fix the two eyes, to fix the two opposite way of understanding reality. Okay, so I take this page out. Okay.
So do you mean the Torah is the way we connected with the tree of Judah?
I said that the rectification of all the Torah is to make connection between the two trees. The two trees, like the two eyes, the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's like Esav and Yaakov. Esav is connected to Mashiach ben Yosef, to the tree of Yosef, and Yaakov is connected to the tree of Judah. What is Mashiach ben David?
Mm. So how we
connect the two trees, we have in our soul, we have to have a connection of the two trees, of the two mentality, of the two opposite personality. Everything, any understand that have to do with two opposite things, this give us, this what you mean internal life. What are the acronym of Chaim Mitzchim, internal life? Chaim.
Oh. Okay.
Chaim Mitzchim equal Menachem plus Tzemach. Menachem, two names of Mashiach. Menachem, that equal Tzemach.
Oh,
and Tzemach. The plant is what grew from below. The Menachem is the Mashiach that came with the cloud. It's Mashiach ben David. Is a rabbi. We have things that came from below. And for example, about the temple, it will be in one way we will build the temple, and another way it came from above. What it came from above is from the side of Menachem. What it came from below is from the side of the plant. About the plant, it is written 2 times that he will build the temple. הנה צמח שמו, ומתחתיו יצמח, הוא בנה את היכל השם, and he will build the היכל of God, the house, the chamber of, will build the temple. והוא יבנה את היכל השם, and he said it עוד פעם, and he will build the temple. So we talk about 2. His name is Plant equal Ariel. So there are 2 lions of God. This is what mean Ariel. There are 2 lions. Ariel is the name of the temple. It's the name of Jerusalem too, because the temple is the name of the altar too. Is Ariel. All the temple you call him on the name of the altar. All Jerusalem we call it on the name of the temple. So there are 2 Ariel. There are 2 Jerusalem. Is Jerusalem here and is Jerusalem above. He's a good guy, he came from above. He's a bad guy, he grew from the earth. Mm-hmm. We have to have a unity between these 2 mentality, these 2 ways to to achieve reality, to understand reality. It is Mashiach ben Yosef that do miracle. And it is Mashiach ben David said, no, it's not good. We have to feel this world, the nature of this world. This world, the way it is, if it's with the law of God, this is the world we want. If I don't feel things according to the law of this world, I didn't feel this world. I cheat. All right, so we have to understand this to approach. There are people that want that Mashiach came with like a big light, big hocus pocus, and boom, all the bad people died, and God take us all to heaven. No, it's infantile. We have to have something of this opinion, but we have to do from below. Things have to develop, natural development. If not, it's not a real rectification if you don't grow up naturally. Right? You're born from zero, you learn everything from the beginning. Why you don't remember what was before, and it will be much more easy. No, we have to work hard to fix things. We have to learn everything from the beginning. After we have to remember, and we have to be connected for what was before. Okay, so to approach the good cow, 7 good cows, the first coming, and the 7 bad cow, the second coming. Both will be in the future in the second coming, but what will be dominant is the low one, the beast. What will be dominant? The Chaya of Mashiach will be more dominant of the Yechida. Of course, the Yechida will be there because the bad cow ate the Yechida. It means the Chaya contained in herself the Yechida, the first coming of Jesus. It will be there, but it will be less dominant. This is the secret of the dream of power. People ask themselves, why is the bad cow is the good cow? It's a true prophecy. What power dream? In Kabbalah it is written there. You have a true prophecy. It's a true prophecy that in the end of the day, when Mashiach came, before Yosef is revealed, and he gives his solution to the dream, the bad cow have to eat the good cow. Power is such a good guy that you don't understand why they even have to win. Right?
Yeah.
And power can be a good guy too. That's question of interpretation. You don't understand why is a bad cow. You don't like it. It's not good. Why? I want the good will win, not the evil. No? The snake will bite you in the end, in the ear. In the end, the snake has to win. All the question is who you put in your understanding instead of the snake. The snake can be the evil man or it can be the Mashiach. The good snake. So, anyhow, the snake has to win. There's a plan. But for the snake win, it will be a good thing that he will. We must to understand what is a good snake. If we don't understand what is a good snake, so we let the evil snake to win, and it's not a good snake that will replace the evil snake. In our thought, we create the good snake. And in the moment, our interpretation about the good snake is better of the regular interpretation about the bad snake. God chose the good interpretation, chose his interpretation to lead the world. He leads the world according to our interpretation of the Torah. Okay, so if we have a bad interpretation, it will be a bad world. If we have a good interpretation, it will be a good world. So it depends on us. Because anyhow, we cannot change what is written in the Torah. In Megillat Esther, Achashverosh is like God. He said, we have to kill all the Jews. So Esther asked Achashverosh, can you change it? He said, no, I'm not going to change it. There's a plan. We have to kill all the Jews. You give an interpretation you want.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm.
Any more questions?
Somebody else maybe have a question?
Oh,
Rabbi, can I ask something?
why your friend have a mask? It's Avodah Zarah.
Because I'm on public.
You must. You
Yeah.
must according to the rule. If you don't must, don't put it. It's just to make us sick and to make us slave. So the only reason they tell us to do it. So we'll be more sick instead of breathing fresh air, clean air. We don't have enough oxygen, so then we become sick because the mask. This is one reason. Second reason, to give us to use to the dictatorship. They tell us what to do. They limit us. They limit our freedom. Even the right to breathe fresh air they take from us. So we cannot. We don't have to cooperate with the dictatorship in any way. Anything that we don't cooperate with the dictatorship. If they tell us you must do vaccine, if not you are going, you cannot work. You don't work because the vaccine is to kill. You have to understand this.
Yes.
Very important. It's the mark of the beast. Everything they tell us to do, have to do with the beast, with the evil beast.
Yeah,
So
but it's the.
Yeah, well, if we have no choice, but if we have a choice, we do everything we can, for our health, for us to be healthy. We don't want to breathe the poison they put in it. There's poison in it too. Besides the fact that we didn't get Khamsan, oxygen, and everything that our body wants to take out, we breathe back again to the body. You see? When we take the air out, there are all kinds of bad stuff with the air go out. So if we put this, we breathe again what the body wants to reject. So don't make any good. Besides this, it's all sign of idolatry, of satanism, all this stuff. They force young children to sit 8 hours in the school with this satanism. Pure evil satanism. They don't care about our health. They just want to make us sick. All right. Any other question?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
But I'm sorry before because it's too noisy. My question is, if the first coming of JC was for the nation, then what is the benefit or function of Jesus for the nation when the coming actually made some kind of chaos where Christianity makes the nations go far from the roots, especially the Torah?
Well, the nation before Jesus was Rome, was completely idolatry. Now it's a question if it is idolatry because they believe in what you call shituf, like God have three personalities that are equal. All right, God is one. Also, compare us to the way there was before, it's much better. The learn Jesus teach the people a good morality, how to behave, to be a good person. even he was even more strong with this of the Torah of Moses, right? So he asked of the people to be very good person, not only good. Right? So it's important. It's important for the nation. It is a benefit. It is a blessing for the nation from Jesus. Right? We talk about this. They got. If not, they even didn't know the importance of Am Israel. They even don't know what is the name of God. They even don't know nothing of all this. Now they have a Bible, they have a Torah, and they have a direction. The direction is really to come back to the root of Jesus, of the root of Christianity, what is Judaism. They have to come back there. But before the comeback is good too, because if not, there was completely in idolatry. Rome was very, very bad. Right?
But we cannot come back to the roots because we believe Jesus is the Messiah, and then it caused us to like we cannot come back to the roots because of that.
Like we talk about this today. When you come back to Israel, if you try to convert, you have to give away the Shabbat.
Mm-hmm.
The Shabbat is a secret. Sometimes to save life, you don't keep Shabbat to save life. Shabbat equals the first name I tell you before with Zayin in the middle. It has to do with the first coming of Jesus. When you write Yud, Shin, Vav, Ein, Vav, Shin, Yud equals Shabbat 702. So the first coming of Jesus is the secret of Shabbat. To save life, you don't keep Shabbat.
Oh, yeah.
To save life. You want to save your life.
Yeah.
So you have to forget about the image, everything they teach you in Christianity about Jesus is an image. It's a false image.
Mm-hmm.
It's a false image of God. It's idolatry.
Yeah.
So Am Israel, when he go out of Egypt, he want to separate himself completely from Egypt. He takes the God of the Egyptian, the lamb, and he sacrifices it to God. This is a sacrifice of Pesach. It means we have to sacrifice Jesus to become Jewish, to make a complete separation from what he was before as a Christian, as a believer as Christian. Now, after you are in Judaism, right? 3 days later, Jesus come back alive. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it is written.
Oh.
So sometimes we have to do something against Jesus for Jesus. You have to be a courage to become a Jewish. You need a courage. To do a sin against Jesus, it takes from you a courage. You cannot be a Jewish if you don't have this courage. You don't deserve to be a Jewish if you don't have the courage to sin when you have to sin. To be able to be a good Jewish, it means to be a powerful person. A powerful person is not so much afraid of the sin. Right? It means you have to balance Esav and Yaakov. When you sin, you are Esav. You are a bad guy, but you need both of them in holiness. And when you do a sin for a good reason, it's a sacrifice that God receives from you. You sacrifice Jesus for God. God is above Jesus. So you sacrifice Jesus for God. And he will come back.
Mm.
He will come back. Okay?
Okay.
What makes Abraham the first Jewish in the world is the fact that he was willing to take Yitzhak. Yitzhak is a Mashiach, and to sacrifice to God.
So our sacrifice, if we sacrifice Jesus, is the same with Abraham.
You are like a big priest. You are like a priest, like Abraham is a big priest, and you sacrifice. You sacrifice, and you make a correction of the big priest of Caiaphas. You sacrifice it for a bad reason. You do a rectification of the big priest. You sacrifice it for a good reason. You have to be sacrificed because it is written in the Torah that God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. It is the reason why he asked him to do this. Against all the logic. Against all the promise.
Yeah.
It's what it's meant to become Jewish.
Okay.
I
understand. Okay.
It's something very deep. And to understand this, that our sages said that a sin that we do for the sake of God is better of a good deed that we do with not any good intention. Sometimes to do something against the Torah is great of doing something that is according to the Torah.
Yeah. But can we like let's say
it's to take responsibility like a grown-up person. A child is supposed to do what his father tell him to do. But a grown-up person might say to his father, I take responsibility, I'm not going to do it. To take responsibility, it means that you have a strong personality. You are grown up, you can take responsibility. You are not afraid to take responsibility. This one of the things that means to be Jewish, to take responsibility.
Okay, but let's say someone that never has opportunity to do in the proper way, because maybe let's say we live in Indonesia and the closest Jewish community is in Singapore, but we cannot go to Singapore if we don't take the vaccine. So is there like
so you don't take the vaccine even in the cost of your life?
Yeah.
All right, we don't take the vaccine because the worst thing in the world. We don't take the vaccine, and maybe you have a mission as a Christian. Still, you have a good mission. If you teach your friend the Torah and you spread truth to the world, you have a mission.
But can we
maybe God needs you if you are where you are? It means God needs you in the place you are. He needs you there. You have a mission where you are. Everybody born where he born in the situation he born, because he have a mission to do in the place he born. They will not give. God will not put you in a place where you don't have any mission to do there. If you put there in Indonesia, I think you have a mission to do in Indonesia. And if by God, Ashgacha Pratit, God, providence, you cannot convert to Judaism, so it means that you don't have to convert to Judaism right now.
Can we say that? Can we like still living a life of, even though we don't call ourselves Jew, but we can live as we can.
Yeah, I tell you, you can follow the commandment. I tell you, yeah. Of course.
Does that mean that we also in in the in the in the covenant the same with Abraham, or it's different? Because
it's a different covenant. You are
But-
not yet Jew. You are not yet Jew, but you do. We talk about the fact that you do something even you are not ordered to do it. It's for the opinions of Rav Yosef, the first opinion of Rav Yosef that he called Mashiach. It's better. Right? Natural way of thinking, it's better.
Yeah.
Like we talk about, yeah. If I wash the vessel, you know, I clean the house, and my wife didn't ask me to clean the house, she would be more happy of me cleaning the house as a surprise.
Mhm.
Maybe she don't like to ask me to clean the house to help her. All right, but if I do it, I am not ordered. I say I do it. It can be better.
And also it means that we are attached to the tree of Judah as well, even though we are not converted.
It's give you a connection. It's not yet a final. It is a point where you stop to be a Gentile and when you convert, but you are more close. You are more close to the holiness. You are more close to God. You are more close to the Torah. You are more close to everything that is holy.
Mm.
If you do good things, you are more close. You know, it's a line, the dimension of good and evil. It's infinite line. You can go more and more and more and more up, and you can be more and more and more low. It's not just go from here to here and it's all to be all right. No, you always move forward the way God gives you the possibility to move forward. Try to make yourself better all the time in different ways. So in the moment you do your best, God have no complaint for you.
Okay.
The one that keeps the fig tree, it will be rewind. He will add the fig tree. Right? So as a Christian, you are a keeper of the fig tree.
Mm.
Right? It's important.
Yeah.
And now you know to keep the fruit is like the surround of the fruit, what is usually we don't eat it. But it is part of the clipper of the shell that become fruit. It's a part of the shell that we throw out. That is part of the shell that become part of the fruit. About the tena, about the fig, all the shell become fruit. Right? We eat all the tena. It's not something we have to take out to eat it like orange. It's not a shell. Shell is like a symbol for evil force.
Mm.
Okay, so if you are a Christian, as a Gentile, you are already good the way God asks you to do. You are already good if you are a good Christian. Now, if you do better, it's always better. You become more and more fruit, more and more close to the real fruit, to Jesus, to God.
Okay.
You know, we don't have to worry so much what will be, if we will be rewind, if we will go to paradise after 120 years old, if we will be punished, if we will not be punished.
Yeah.
We just do our mission, whatever we have to do, and we don't all the all the rest I don't care about. You know, a child, you give him a candy so he will be good. Adult, you don't need the candy. The purpose of doing a good thing is a good thing that you did. It's not, you don't do a good thing to get something, for interest, to be all right with that. We just do the good thing. We don't care about the rest. You know that God asked the earth to do a tree of fruit that giving fruit. If I think that the tree, that the earth make only tree of fruit. So the tree himself, it was not a fruit. So when I do something to achieve something else for another purpose, it's like the tree. It's not the way God wants. God wants that the tree too will be fruit. Which means, let's say I work to get money. I don't like to work, but I want the money. No, the work you do is supposed to be a fruit too. You have to like the work you do. You have to find the, you know, the goal of what you do in what you do. This is an adult way to understand reality. A child, no, he do something because he want to get a candy. So you give him a candy. For him, it's all right. You promise him Olam Haba, what you can, he will go with Jesus. I say, very worried, what will be with me? I have a life insurance, so I don't have life insurance. A grown-up person don't care about all this. He just want to do the good thing and it's all. You don't think about what will be after 120 years old.
Okay.
All right, so be good. And let's hope that we will not have problem with the government that try to make us to put mask and etc. Everything will work well. Okay.
Yeah.
So we see you. We'll gather next time, and you will give me, send me what subject you like to talk about next time.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thank you so much, Rabbi.
Thank you. Shalom.
Thank you, shalom.